If I told you that within you right now is a realm of eternal peace, unchanging, immortal, always has been there, always will be, would you believe me? Maybe. And if so, you're probably going to have a very smooth ride through this video. But if you don't, if you feel a story, a narrative forming in your mind, oh, he's full of rubbish, oh, he's just making these outlandish claims to get clicks, oh, I've never experienced it, so, or whatever they may be. Maybe you simply feel resistance, a physical repulsion to what I said, to my opening statement. But nonetheless, whether you have been consciously aware of this realm before, or maybe you've never experienced it fully, it has always been there. And let me explain why. Because this realm, this peace, this pure awareness, pure consciousness, it is below, it is before, it is the space within which all of your thoughts, all of your perceptions, all of your beliefs, before all of that noise, it is the space within which all of that mental noise takes place. It is the awareness that encapsulates everything. Without it, wow, there would be no experience. And this language that I used of saying that this is a space that you can enter, that's actually a lie, because it implies that this space is separate from you. There is a you that can enter this realm of peace. But the thing is, if this realm of peace was separate from you, then what would you be? If this realm of consciousness, pure awareness, was separate from you, what would you be? If you were not conscious, if you were not consciousness, if you were not the space within which everything happens, within which every experience happens, every thought happens, every belief happens, if you were not that space, if you were something outside of consciousness itself, well then what would you be? Would you even exist? What would you be made out of? You see, because this realm of consciousness, maybe you've experienced it before through a meditation. Maybe you've just had a glimpse of it. Maybe you saw something really beautiful. Maybe something caught you off guard and you were awestruck for a few seconds. I guarantee you, whether consciously or unconsciously, whether you remember it or not, you have had a moment where you've experienced this pure consciousness. You've had a moment where the thoughts, the noise, the judgments, the labels just disappeared. And what's left when those thoughts, when those judgments, when all these labels, all of these perceptions, all of these narratives, this constructed identity, this pseudo-personality, if you will, what happens when all of them go quiet? What happens when you have a thought and then a break and then another thought? What is that space between thoughts? Can you detach from it? Can you observe it? What's left? Does this space change? Does this space, do feelings, do emotions arise and fall? Is there any permanence to it? Or is it just pure beingness? Is it just simply what is? Now you may notice that I'm taking long pauses, and that's intentional. These long pauses I'm taking in this video are to try and help transmit this energy across, to give you an opportunity to go quiet and experience what I'm describing. Because here's the thing, words, descriptions, concepts, all they do is veil this reality that I'm sharing with you. You'll notice that every time you label it, consciousness, awareness, beingness, the label never lives up to the experience itself. This, what I'm trying to describe to you, what I'm trying to transmit to you, basically what I'm saying is it's beyond language itself. It can't be boxed. It is the space within which all of the boxes exist. If you've ever had a concept, you've ever had a thought, you've ever had a judgment, you've thought, oh, that person shouldn't be doing that. Oh, I believe this. Oh yes, I think this. Ah yes, I'm this person who believes in this, and I am anything, literally anything. It has all been encapsulated within this space. You can't ever detach from this beingness. And like I said, I'm going to use words to describe it, obviously. Otherwise this video would just be me sat in pure silence, just staring into the camera. So I am going to use language, but just remember that until you experience this for yourself, you will never truly understand what I'm getting at here. And if you're still watching this video, I have to believe that you at least have an inkling as to what I'm talking about. Otherwise, you probably would have clicked off. You would have left this video a while ago, because you would have probably thought that it's really boring or not stimulating enough. You'll have noticed in my other videos I talk quite a lot, but I'm not going to do that with this one. Instead, I'm just gonna keep saying, keep creating these doorways, these opportunities for you to be still. This video is not scripted. It's not planned. It's a spontaneous arising of whatever may come through. the intention of this video was to simply create a doorway into stillness, a doorway into presence. And like I said, you can never detach from this space. Because if you've ever meditated, you've noticed, or even if you haven't meditated, we've all had intrusive thoughts. We've all had thoughts that we're trying to get rid of, but we can't get rid of them, and they're really anxiety, anger, hatred, fear. But in moments like that, you'll notice that there is a you and there is a thought. In moments of meditation, you'll definitely notice that there is a you and there is a thought. Because if you were the thought, how could you observe it as something that's happening, something that you're hearing, something that you're experiencing? If that thought truly was you, if this ego, this identity that is created, this sense of self that is a amalgamation of all of these different beliefs, ideas, stories that you've subscribed to about who you are, what makes you you. If you were truly that identity, then how on earth would you ever be able to even sense that something is there? Because let me tell you, in this space of presence, in this space of awareness, yes, you feel your existence. You sense your existence. But there is no you that's apart from this feeling. Whereas with the egoic personality, if you're feeling anger, you're feeling a trigger, something that goes against your belief as a personality, your belief as an ego. Ah, yes, I am Will Shaw, and I disagree with that completely, and now I'm feeling angry or I'm feeling fearful because this other person has, displayed a behavior that I don't agree with, or shared a philosophy that, oh no, they're wrong. You'll notice those waves of anger, those triggers. They will arise and they may grip you for a certain amount of time, but they will fall. You don't, well, I hope not, but you don't constantly exist in anger. It is not a permanent state. You do not constantly exist in anxiety. It is not a permanent state. Now, I'm not saying there aren't people who do suffer with anxiety, with fear, with anger issues that seem to permeate their entire existence, their entire life. I'm not saying that doesn't happen. I'm not saying that can't happen. But I'm saying that those emotions, especially those negative ones, they are transient in nature. They come and they go. You get triggered, and then eventually you move on to focusing about something else. You may feel moments of sadness, fear, anger, but they come and they go. They come and they go. But if these emotions, these feelings of anger, these feelings of fear, these feelings of anxiety, grief, if they can come and they can go, well, they can't be you. They can't be all that you are. You must be more than that. Because otherwise, how can you experience the absence of them? If you're feeling angry one day and sad the other day, but you feel and you claim to be this character who has this anger and has this fear, you claim that to be your identity. But then when that anger goes, when those belief systems change, when that identity shifts, how come you're still there? Because I guarantee you are not the same person you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I guarantee you are not that exact same character that you were. Yet you're still here. Yet you still exist. Yet you remember being that persona, or shall I say, playing that persona. Because if that persona could arise, and you may have believed yourself to be that person for that amount of time, fully identified, and yet the years went by, your perspectives changed, new belief systems came in, old belief systems left. New insights came in, old beliefs that were proven to no longer serve or be illogical or be overwritten, went out. And the character that you were is no longer here. A new character took its place. So which character were you? Really think about this. Which character were you? The one 10 years ago? The one 5 years ago? Or the one now? If you really are this persona, if you really are this egoic sense of self that is created from all of these thought structures, then which one are you? And how can you still be here when that character left? It doesn't make sense, right? So what are you then? You must be something deeper. And as I said earlier, the very fact that you can observe these thoughts, these emotions that arise and fall, the very fact that you can see them and that you are there when they arise, before they arise, and after they are gone, you must be something that observes them, right? You must be something that holds them, something that they exist within, something that they can appear within and leave. They come into your awareness and they leave. Another language trick there. Notice how I said your awareness, as if you are separate from this observing, as if you are separate from this presence. I, William Shaw, am experiencing the present moment. I, William Shaw, am experiencing being the observer, observing awareness. But who is William Shaw? And who are you? Because William Shaw, first off, it's a name. But like I said, who is William Shaw? You could say, or I could say, rather, I am 5'7" tall. I am a male. I am a YouTuber. I am an actor. I am, I have, whatever, right? You can say all these things, but is that the total sum of who you are? Am I just this body? Am I just this character? Or is that simply an identity that has been constructed from perhaps what other people have told me about myself? When we're very young and our parents kind of tell us who we are, our teachers tell us who we are, our friends tell us who we are. We learn what's acceptable and what isn't. So we take on traits that we believe are going to keep us safe, and we tell ourselves that we are this way and that we're not that way because that's not allowed, and we are this way because that's what gets us approval and that's what helps us survive. We're like sponges when we come into this world, absorbing everything. And yet when we come into this world, what are we? Before I knew about William Shaw, before I knew about all these ways which I should behave and shouldn't behave, before I knew I was a male, before I even knew I had a body, talking about newborn baby kind of stuff, or very young child, Who was I then? I say all of this not to just ponder, but to encourage you to question all of this yourself. You don't need to constantly suffer. You don't need to hold on to all of these narratives, all of these stories that are causing friction within you. You don't need to identify with something that's making you unhappy. Instead, you can practice observing. I didn't quite know how to phrase this. Practice isness, practice being. As I said, language, it's beyond language. You get to a point where it's hard to describe. I guess I could just, say practice meditating, right? But even then I want to be careful when saying that, because I know a lot of people associate meditation with, achieving a silent mind. and as if there's a proper way to meditate. I need to sit down, I need to be upright, I just need to, I need to really, focus, I need to strain, I need to, they see it as a doing. I need to focus. And if a thought comes in, I need to squash it, and I need to focus, and I need to focus, and I need to resist any thoughts that come in, because I need a silent mind. And if I have thoughts coming in, I'm not doing it right. And, that's not meditating. And I'm not trying to sell you any sort of practice here. I'm not trying to say that this is the way to do it. I'm just simply sharing with this video stillness. I'm simply sharing but I will say one thing on how I personally access this space, this state. It's not a state. States are transient. But this space, shall I say, how I disappear, there you go. I take my attention and I put it there. So if you want to do that with me right now, just maybe close your eyes if it helps, or put a hand there. That can help sometimes. And I just want you to put your attention right there. And just hold it there. Thoughts come in, sure, it's fine. You're not the one thinking them anyway. They're just popping up, and then they're fading. And they're popping up, and then they're fading, and then they're popping up, and then there's a new thought, and then there's popping up, and then... That's okay. Because what we're doing here, when we focus our attention into the body, is we are keeping ourselves in the present. I find it is a very useful anchor. I like to think of it as an anchor. Oh, I just said that. I like to think of it as a powerful grounding. Like there's a, keeps you fixed. And you'll find, especially early on, that you may lose the awareness of this space. And you may get sucked back up into a mental daydream or anything. It could be something in your external environment that distracts you and pulls you out of it, or it could be something in your mind, whatever, an enticing thought, daydream. But you'll notice whenever you have become distracted, because you'll notice that there is no longer any conscious feeling in this space. And your mind may want to beat you up, may want to shame you. You may suddenly feel, oh man, like I messed up again, or I'm not good at this. This is a waste of time. I can't do this. But again, those are just thoughts, and they're not true. So if those thoughts come up, observe them as well. And just simply take your awareness back into this feeling, the feeling of this space. And I'm not saying this as a one-time practice where you sit down and do it for 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. You can do that. That is perfectly okay, and it's better than nothing. But I'm talking more about constantly feeling it. Because you can go about your day, you can do anything, and still have a portion of your awareness, a background feeling of being in this space, in this awareness. All this is doing, by keeping this feeling center, keeping some of your attention on this space, it's an easy way of keeping yourself present. Because even if thoughts are happening or you're doing something, as long as there's still a feeling here, as long as there's still a portion of your awareness focused on this space, this part of your body, you are present. And you are actively coming from a place of being, of feeling your existence, of feeling that realm, that dimension within which everything happens. So it's a very, I'd say, easy. It's my favorite way of keeping present, without feeling like I have to focus or observe every thought that comes in, or, because, yeah, that's valid too, but I found it's kind of hard to do other things while constantly trying to monitor and, watch all of my thoughts. And then, it's much easier just to keep that feeling, and therefore not getting completely sucked up into the realm of concepts and mental noise. Just keeping that anchor here. I hope this video served you. It is a a different vibe from the other videos I've got on my channel, and I've enjoyed it, and I hope you have too. And I hope you were able to feel what I was talking about, or what I was, I guess, alluding to, describing, or, they say the words are like signposts. They can only ever point to the reality of the thing. So I hope this video opened a little bit of a doorway and allowed you to, even for a short moment, experience the reality of presence, of beingness, beyond all of the noise, beyond everything. The realm in which you are. Have a good day, guys. That's a sign. Recording ended the minute I said have a good day, guys. That's awesome.